I mean, obviously, we've been following this Paramount Skydance Warner Brothers merger for months. And originally, of course, included, for a while, we kind of forget, but Comcast was part of that,
Yep.
NBC, Universal, and Netflix. And of course, Netflix eventually dropped out, sadly. If it was going to anyone, I wanted to go to Netflix. And I think we can see by announcements recently that Netflix is truly actually dedicated to theatrical, which was kind of shocking but smart. But we're going to be looking at a little bit of a deep dive here on Paramount. First off, Paramount's junk status. So just so you guys know, Paramount Skydance is already, its credit rating with investors is junk status. Its current is BB plus. But anyway, Paramount's junk status credit rating to be downgraded further following Warner Brothers merger to reflect major ongoing uncertainties. This is from S&P Global. So we'll just kind of get into this. I kind of have to read it because it's a lot of
Yeah.
But S&P Global Ratings already has placed Paramount Skydance credit rating in junk status territory, indicating that the media conglomerate debt securities are considered speculative grade. But if and when Paramount completes its mega deal for Warner Brothers Discovery, the credit rating firm will take it down another notch. Currently, S&P Global has a BB plus issuer credit rating on Paramount. On Wednesday, the firm said it will lower the issuer credit rating on PSKY, that's the ticker for Paramount Skydance, to BB when its acquisition of WBD closes, assuming no material changes to the structure of the terms take place. And this is taking into geopolitical factors and secular pressures. Yeah, not a great time for this studio. S&P Global defines the BB rating like this. So a BB rating is a BB credit rating indicates that an entity is less vulnerable in the near term, but faces major ongoing uncertainties. This rating reflects a speculative nature, suggesting that the entity may be more impacted by economic downturns or other adverse conditions. So while the BB rated entities might currently manage their organizations, investors should be cautious due to the potential volatility. Why would this happen? Well, they already have their own debt, and the acquisition will cost them $111 billion. And part of that purchase will be taking on $30 billion of Warner Brothers debt. And then the responsibility to pay the interest on that debt might become insurmountable. That's in addition to tens of billions, the article goes on to say, of debt it is amassing to fund the merger. Paramount restructured the financing to reducing the aggregate long-term debt commitments from 54 to 49 billion, but that would still leave a combined Paramount WBD in a highly leveraged position. So also, just to put this in context, it's the leverage ratio for this company is 7.6 times its adjusted EBITDA, which is earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. And even by 2029, it'll be a 5x still. So it's a massive amount of debt for the amount of money Paramount is earning. So we're going to go into a little more about what's happening with Paramount, but let's bite into this right now. Rob, what do you feel about this?
Again, with the entertainment business never being a sure thing,
yeah,
to incur this much debt, I think is risky.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at the end of the day, look, I want to see Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is still it's going strong. I love Warner Brothers. I love Paramount. I just don't understand the need to make such a purchase. I think both, obviously they're going to do it, but I just hate to see both companies compromise like this. I don't know. I don't like it. Don't like it, Jonathan.
Yeah. No, I mean, they are now put into a very precarious situation, which I understand. A lot of people are like, and we'll actually get into this. People are saying like, oh, oil money. Well, yeah, that's great. But people don't just like to pile billions and billions of dollars into a losing investment. And they can just as easily pull that money away and put it somewhere else. I understand that there might be some influence they get with that money, but is it worth it? And if it ultimately capitulates, that's throwing good money after bad.
Yep.
And then where does this place then, if you have Paramount in hot water now, debt wise, and they just purchased Warner Brothers, then they both go up for sale, and then who acquires that? It's kind of a death spiral.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, is this going to lead to great entertainment?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want one thing from Paramount. I want great Star Trek again. Make Star Trek great again. Make it relevant. Make it smart. Make it timeless and, dare I say, universal. And with Warner Brothers, let them cook with their diverse slate of kinds of movies they're making. They've just announced their new label, Warner Brothers Clockwork, which I think is amazing. Their second movie, they announced Sean Baker's new movie, Te Amo, but their first release is going to be Ken Russell's The Devils. They just debuted it in Cannes from 1971. By the way, shout out to Damon Packard, filmmaker Damon Packard. Look out for his AI film about the release of The Devils. Damon Packard is going to be the first guy that's going to make an AI feature film that is going to be actually palatable. But his thing that he did on the release of The Devils, genius. But yeah, so I'm very excited to see what Warner Brothers is doing. But why destabilize both companies? I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
But
well, going a little further into this, it's not all roses for Paramount going forward. Also, because as this article from Variety brings out, Senate Democrats implore FCC chair to conduct rigorous review of Paramount Warner Brothers merger. Foreign investment deal raises national security alarms. Let's get into this. Democratic senators are again urging the FCC to not rubber stamp their $111 billion takeover of Warner Brothers, citing concerns over foreign investors, including Middle Eastern wealth funds that are backing the pact. The pending Paramount merger raises national security alarms. They say the group sent a letter May 20th to the FCC chairman, Brendan Carr, outlining their concerns that came after another group of Senate Democrats sent the agency chief a similar letter 2 months ago. Let's get into the numbers here. The crux of their misgivings. In April, Paramount disclosed to the FCC filing that the merged Paramount WB deal would be 49.5%, so just under 50% owned by foreign investors, with about 38.5% of that equity coming from the sovereign wealth funds of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi. Paramount's filings seek a declaratory ruling from the FCC permitting foreign ownership. This is interesting. And in fact, asked the agency to authorize up to 100% foreign equity ownership in its broadcast licenses. Okay, so typically Congress has set the limit to 25%, and they're asking for 100% in their broadcast license.
that's insane.
The scale, concentration, and scope of this proposal raise serious questions, I would assume. Foreign governments hostile to free and independent press could exert unprecedented influence over media conglomerate vital to American journalism, the senator said. We'll go on, but react to that.
Well, I don't want, I mean, Qatar has already had tremendous influence over our educational institutions over the last 25 years, and look at how that's worked out for us. So I don't think this is a good idea at all. I mean, I understand, that you let Arab money into the United States. Obviously, they have different cultural norms. And if they can control what's going out, I mean, they've already the disinformation campaigns that they've launched against this country over the last 25 years you can go look at them now. Who wants them to own our broadcast rights?
Well,
and I would say that not just about Saudi money or Qatar money, but I would say that about any foreign investment in the United States, no matter where it came from.
Well, if
from all over the world,
right?
I mean, we don't want our way of life or what we believe in to be controlled by a foreign power, because they do not have our best interests at heart. No one but we do.
Well, yeah, I mean, it just makes sense. It's not even a negative statement. It's like, of course, they're going to have their own interests at heart.
We want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Pocket Hose. Guys, I'm excited to tell you about the world's #1 expanding garden hose and their brand new product, the Pocket Hose Ballistic. As you guys can imagine, I'm not exactly gentle with my gear. I drag hoses across concrete over the pool, yank them around corners. I even coil and uncoil them all the time to put them in my camper van when I go out on my movie meetups. And generally speaking, a lot of them don't last. But the Pocket Hose Ballistic has been a totally different story for me. It's incredibly durable, super lightweight, and just makes the whole job easier. One of my favorite things is how simple it is to use. You turn the water on, it expands. Turn it off, it shrinks right back down to pocket size. And it's reinforced with a liquid crystal polymer, the same kind of material used in bulletproof vests. Plus, it comes with the pocket pivot, which gives you 360-degree rotation at the spigot so it moves with you instead of fighting against you. And now, for a limited time, when you purchase a new Pocket Hose Ballistic, you'll get a free 360-degree rotating pocket pivot and a free thumb drive nozzle. Just text Campea to 64,000. That's CAMPEA to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. Text Campea to 64,000. Message and data rates may apply.
The article kind of brings out in this paragraph, if the filing is approved, Saudi, UAE, and Qatar sovereign investment funds would have significant influence. Yes, we know, but taking over journalism outlets in the United States, including CNN, CBS News, 60 Minutes, and 28 local Paramount-owned television stations, of which 17 are in the country's largest media markets. So this isn't just like small market.
No.
And it would be, what they're asking for is complete control. It's not even like a percentage, it's an investment. It's 100% control. That's...
Well, late stage capitalism, you know, everyone's for sale. Doesn't matter. Just give me mine because I'm only living here for a small amount of time. And, you know, I want to buy art and
so the
hot
question,
girls and
the question
yachts.
is, where does this go? Because they've got a lot of hurdles now with the way the Senate is. Here's the thing. I feel like the Ellisons kind of hitched their horse to the wrong stagecoach here, because the trend in the next 4 to 7 years is not moving in their direction now. That's just trends.
Right.
And you can see even today, kind of both sides of the Senate are working together in ways I never thought before. Things are getting tedious with this deal. And it's kind of funny because further in the article, I won't get into it anymore, but you know, Paramount is still complaining. They're saying, well, you know, this is Ted Sarandos doing. Netflix is influencing these things. It's like, no, man, you bit off more than you can chew, is my opinion. And Ted Sarandos may be waiting in the, maybe waiting in the wings for this to all fall apart, and they can come in and sweep up the pieces. But this is more than just Ted Sarandos at work.
Yeah.
The fact that now their credit rating is reduced below junk status. What they're asking for is completely unprecedented, and I don't think they're going to get the political will of the people behind this. And the Senate and the House are now feeling this. And I know a lot of times they can ignore it, but you can only ignore it to a certain point. That's why we see this wave is changing things. I just don't see a clear path for the Ellisons and Paramount.
I mean, what I want to hear is that they're going to make great entertainment.
That's,
you know, none
wouldn't
of
it be nice for us to be talking about movie studios making movies?
Yeah. I mean, they can't even figure out what they're going to do with Star Trek. So, you know, it's frustrating. It's frustrating to see, but that's the way of things, you know?
Well, and I wonder too, where, you know, they come up with the promise of 30, well, when nearly 50% of your promise is already coming from Warner Brothers of 30 films a year. Okay.
Well, how are you going to you have to borrow money to make movies.
And you have bad credit. And what are your stories? Because right now your slate is kind of bare. And okay, Top Gun 3, wonderful. But what else? That's 1 year.
And look at how long Top Gun 2 is in development.
Right.
I mean, it could take a very long time. And, you know, let's say you want to make 30 movies a year and you want to make, let's say you make 10 of those tent poles. Where are you going to get that $150 million plus for each one of those movies? You know, as people understand, we all know that the studios aren't sitting on mountains of cash. They are borrowing money from banks to finance the making of their films. Well, and you've got interest rate payments on that. That's why you want to get them out and paid
7.6 factor against EBITDA, which again is earnings before taxes, interest rate payments that you have to pay on huge amounts of debt that you've taken on, amortization, you know. So that's earnings before it. So now reduce all of that from your earnings. They're in a sketchy time here, man. I know Papa Ellison's wealthy, but he also lost tens of billions of dollars himself recently. And if this AI bubble does indeed pop, Oracle's going to be in bigger trouble. There's a lot going on with OPEC and world oil markets, and there's just
Yeah.
a lot to take on right now.
Yes, there is.
They're going to be dealing with a different Senate and possibly a different Senate, definitely a different House of Representatives.
One
And in a political environment that is not friendly to them. So this isn't the heyday of MAGA, and that's not me taking a side or anything. I'm just talking about trends, guys. It's all out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not about what your political affiliation is.
I'm just looking at the
talking
trends.
Yeah, we're talking economics and trends. I mean, it's right now. I don't think that there's any American who can say that they're doing really well right now, because there's so many different factors going against us in terms of rising prices, gas prices. I'm shocked at how, especially here in California. I mean, we already had the highest gas prices in the country.
Oh yeah,
because of our clean gas and all of that, but it's just insane.
yeah, it's becoming untenable. Well, anyway, that's where we're at now with the ever going drama of Warner Brothers, and meanwhile, Zaslav is probably like, "Yeah, guys, don't worry about it. This ain't happening." That's just my speculation. He's already put that memo out that said this might not even happen. So I just feel like they're like, yeah, sure, $31 a share. Go for it. Let's do this. And whatever. All right, guys. Look, what do you guys think about this whole ever-growing mess and tangled webs of Warner Brothers, Paramount, Skydance, foreign investment?
It's all so crazy.
Let us know in the comments what you guys think.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.